quick reaction and analyzing the 2025 budget, and also try to see their expectations in the yet to be unveiled budget for 2026. Like I mentioned earlier on, we expect the International Monetary Fund resident representative to Zambia here to feature on this platform and just get their views as well. We'll still continue charting with CSPR. Before Honorable Kangombe left, touched on a very important topic, the budget, sector budget analysis. It's something new. Parliament has been running it. It should be the 3 years now running. How do you make of that implementation of the sector budget analysis, and what are some of the benefits you think from the civil society point of view?
So first and foremost, I think the sector budget analysis allows more focus on a particular head of the yellow book in terms of analysis. It allows you to delve into a very specific area of the budget that it could be of interest to the area you work in and have competence for. But it also opens up for more voices of citizens. Previously, we used to analyze the budget using an expanded committee of estimates. So the House would break into that expanded committee, and then you would come in and just give submissions generally to the whole budget, from any area. So you could highlight top line, or be very specific to a matter. But I think the SBA process allows for very thorough engagement of the general public, particularly with the budget itself, and it allows also, I think, Parliament as an institution to hear very solid and in-depth views that are coming from the public in terms of how they understand the actual allocations per head. So already I think Parliament has been ahead of their game, because for some of the civil society organizations like mine, we've already received requests to come and on particular heads.
Which head are you looking forward to?
Our first invitation, we are going to be speaking to the section of the budget that will be addressing issues of anti-corruption. But we are very interested also in heads that are focusing on the human and social development sectors, because our interest is always to see how the resources for poverty reduction have been allocated. I must mention also that the budget as it sits now is an output-based budget. So the idea behind the output-based budget is to align it with development outcomes as they sit in the National Development Plan, and to make sure that there's actually ring-fenced financing that is available to implement these plans. Remember, in the past, we used to have challenges of having plans that were misaligned with allocations. The third thing I think that is important is that it helps us to see actual priorities that have gone into the budget. Because anything you put money to, it means you have prioritized that particular area. So we want to see whether the priorities sitting in the budget and in the particular sector heads are responding to priorities for development and the context that we are grappling with now. So there are a lot of benefits with the sector budget analysis. Let me also make mention that the SBA process allows us to also engage people beyond Lusaka. The budget policy is not just about people sitting here and, attending to maybe programs such as this one. We must understand that budget engagement is many things. It has to come from the grassroots. We have to make sure that we are facilitating processes where ordinary citizens are being convened to look into this budget and scrutinize it, and that input can also be cascaded right up to the respective parliamentary committees that are looking into these submissions. But one thing though, that even though the SBA process is very, very critical and important, I think one of the challenges to post-budget analysis that you find is that it is very seldom that views at this stage would largely influence major changes to allocations. I think that is a non-fact. So I saw that initially there were some comments from the public talking about expectations on pay-as-you-earn, for example. Thresholds, 7,500, 6,500, and so on. And more recently, I think we did hear the Secretary to the Treasury giving a top-line comment, because I think there was also an addition that was talking about 10,000 as a threshold. Yeah. So when you look at now how the budget will be presented, obviously there will be very high expectations.
But what threshold would you recommend? Because knowing in fact that government needs to raise some funds as well, the pay threshold, CSPR.
So let me just make mention that it is unlikely that that payee threshold could go up to 10,000. Number one. Okay, it is unlikely, and the reason it is unlikely, it's because government would be losing significant revenues. Remember, again, we said it's very important to relate what is happening in the economy versus the social context.
So yes, USAID,
yes. So yes, people are pressed for incomes. One, because wages are generally low %. Okay, so instead of us pushing the pay-as-you-earn thresholds and all those things, the question we should really be asking ourselves is, what are some of the labor reforms that we are expecting to see? The recently adjusted minimum wages, they are too low. They are well below the basic needs basket. We know that very well. If somebody is going home with a take-home of 1,300, that's basic minimum wage, how do you think they are managing in terms of paying for their rentals, buying mini meal, taking their children to school? And you can't argue also by saying, no, but there's free education, because you know that in a household, you are looking basically at the total disposable income that you have. It is the same money you're going to use and take to your investments. It's the same money you're going to use to sustain yourself. It's the same money we're asking people to save. That's not realistic. So what we should be asking ourselves is, what reforms are we seeing there, one, to influence wages, okay, the decent work agenda, that when people are working, they are getting decent wages for the type of work that they are doing. And this is why we are saying we have to complement that by understanding the unique vulnerabilities also that we are seeing within the economy.
Okay.
Those who are highly dependent on agro-based businesses, if you look at the Zambia National Development, the Zambia Human Development Report of 2025, it actually mentions that the biggest single threat to development for Zambia currently is climate change. Because if the next season is not as good as we have experienced now, we go back to the same problems. Okay, so we want to see livelihoods that are being incentivized to become a little bit more resilient, access to, you know, cheaper equipment for people who are depending on agriculture, actualizing aspects of education and so on and so forth. But let's get away from the fact that wages, labor and so on, we are found wanting in that area, and we cannot fix that problem by quickly going to pay as you earn, because in that bracket, the formal sector, there are very few people that are working. What about those that are currently, you know, seeking that type of employment, but are yet to be employed? So we have a number of things there that we need to.
Let's get to our messages and see who has sent what on our. We do not have messages yet. Okay, we do have Brian Ngandu from Lusaka. You're saying the Minister of Green Economy and Environment must also be funded fully. We have witnessed a lot of land and water pollutions by investors who are not monitored. Thank you so much, Mr. Ngandu there. Mambo Astra. My expectations is on CDF to be increased so that grant can be 50,000 kwacha there. Thank you so much, Mambo there. And you've put a pin there. A lengthy text message coming from Waria Frederick from Chingola on the Copper Belt. We are expecting the 2026 budget to prioritize fiscal discipline, infrastructure development, agriculture support, social protection, measures to support farmers through initiatives like timely payment systems, invest in infrastructure projects, and enhanced social protection programs. Thank you so much, Mr. Walia there. Chiwaya Edgar, Ikelengi district in Northwestern Province have a complaint as a youth. We have a good number of people who have complete secondary school and have out bursaries. Our best, we are failing due to lack of support, so I'm kindly asking for your help, please. Chiwaya Edgar there for your text message. Appreciate. The other one coming from and Daliso, you're sending in your text message from Mulowezi. Thank you so much. And that says Masidiso Sitali. Thank you so much. I'm expecting that they will give money to fix Nakatindi Sesheke Road. Thank you so much. And we've heard the Member of Parliament, that's Honorable Kangombe, raising that concern on the floor of the House. So the Minister will be able to address that. Let's wait and see at 14:15 if that will be addressed. I would like to thank you for the program, pre-budget analysis. My expectations concerning 2026 budget as follows. One, redesign the empowerment program because the mindset of the beneficiaries has not yet been tuned to that of same body to change the living standard. Secondly, remove political players in CDF. Let there be committees away from political lines. Thirdly, lastly, let there be an independent commission monitoring CDF program that report that to the President and nation large. More in Southern Province. Jafet Munga from Mazabuka, you're saying, Mike, that more fundings should be done to the Ministry of Agriculture to boost small-scale farmers and to have more food in our country. Thank you so much. And in Livingston there, Kesson, you're saying, I want to ask who is managing cash for work. The people are paid late, and currently we are into the third week without payment. Let's just push in two more text messages before I get back to Madam Kalawai just to respond to some text messages. Mudenda from Siavonga, you're saying too many handouts in form of social cash transfers will in the long run cause laziness. We need to revisit the genuine beneficiaries and continue only with those money must be given as loans to able-bodied citizens, cause that will be investment and it will encourage hard work. Mudenda from Siavonga. The last one on this set, we want to hear more investment in the energy sector because all fields depend on that. Honorable Kangombe is right, bravo. That was earlier. I think this text message came earlier when we had Honorable Christopher Kangombe. Maybe just quick reaction before I let you go, Ms. Mukelabai.
Right. So I think macroeconomic objectives and expectations there, we definitely need clarity in terms of the policy direction that will be given by the Minister. In terms of the policy framework, fiscal policy framework, we are expecting to hear very clearly how the country is expected to generate its revenue, including different aspects of progressive taxation. So taxation that does not transfer the burden, to citizens in the manner we see and feel it now, but taxation that recognizes that the principle within which a good tax is anchored on is ability to pay. We are also expecting that environmental issues will be addressed in the context of business, and especially that the country also has a national green growth strategy, which seems to be very silent, budget after budget. You will hear reference to the 8 NDP targets, but very seldom will you hear very clear alignment in terms of how the green growth strategy is being supported and being implemented. I think most of the submissions around energy, unlocking challenges and existing barriers to the energy sector is key. The micro, small, medium enterprises and support that is going to the MSME sector is also very essential. We would like to see also a number of housekeeping measures. Yeah, like we said, achieving fiscal discipline, making sure that there is financial prudence is as much important as it is to allocate money, because if you allocate money but you are losing it in leakages, it's a problem. Lastly, I also want to mention that we need to look at the whole problem of illicit financial flows. We are talking about domestic resource mobilization. It is one of the most important conversations of our time. Everywhere you are going, you will hear key reforms that are happening around financing for development. It means that globally we are recognizing the importance of owning the financing of our own development agenda. And in this budget, we want to see the extent to which we will be in control of some of the targets that we have set out for our own development.
Okay. Before I let you go, I know your expectations are quite high. Now, how can the 2026 national budget support economic growth and job creation initiatives that will benefit, looking at your organization, low-income communities, and contribute to poverty reduction?
Right. So the pathway we have been told for economic growth is that number one is private sector led. By private sector, I think when we talk about poverty reduction, we are coming at it from the perspective of the smaller players within the economy. That the economy must create room for inclusion of smaller players within the economy, whether it is mining, whether it is agriculture, whether it is energy, tourism, if you like. And currently what we see is that there are very good policies that aim to unlock productivity in some of these economic sectors like mining. However, those particular policies lack inclusion and ability, for example, to carry the poor along. One of the reform measures for the mining sector is around the artisanal and small-scale mining opportunity, and we did see that this year there was quite a lot that has been done by the Ministry of Mines to make sure that the smaller scale players can be included in economic participation in mining activities. But there are challenges there around access to capital. There are challenges there around capacity building for the artisanal small-scale miners. There are issues around operational support that needs to be recognized, and addressed in this particular budget. The other thing I think is around addressing issues of revenues that are coming from sectors like mining, and making sure that there can be a nexus, created, especially for host communities. Not every host community can participate in actual mining, but there could be other opportunities around the mining activities that allow them to improve aspects of, supply to the mines and so on and so forth. Therefore, the local content bill is a very important subject matter. I will actually be very surprised if in the 2026 national budget we don't hear anything around the conclusion of that matter. I think it has been raised many times, particularly from mining hubs, the importance of putting together a local content law that then creates the leverage we are looking for and the linkages that we need for people to participate in mining, not in mainstream production of minerals, but in supporting everything else that happens economically around a mining investment. So agriculture is another very important sector for poverty reduction. Actually, if there is a sector where we need to see more allocation and more investments in terms of transformation, it should be agriculture. There we are talking about the Sustainable Agriculture Financing Facility in terms of support, the Farmer Input Support Program, the Food Security Program also that comes in to support the farmers, because now we know that in this particular season we are going 100%, for example, on things like the e-voucher. So it's very important that we hear very tangibly the numbers of farmers that are targeted, given the fact that we have more than 3 million smallholder farmers. What support is going to be going there? Madam
Keleva, I must say thank you so much for finding time and being with us on this very important day. I know expectations are very high from CSPR. Your concluding remarks before I let you go.
We look forward to the budget presentation this afternoon. Like we said, we are very, very highly expectant. We expect nothing less than a budget that is focusing on the needs of people. Yeah.
Okay. Wishing you all the best, and
Thank you.
thank you so much for making an appearance on the budget, pre-budget analysis.
Thank you.
There you have it. That's the CSPR Executive Director, and this is Ms. Isabel Mukelebai, just adding her voice and representing her organization on the so many expectations that they are looking forward in the 2026 national budget, which will be presented by the Minister of Finance in few hours' time. Keep sending those text messages, and colleagues and I took some time just to go around, interacted with various stakeholders, just to find out their expectations on this very important day, which the Minister of Finance will be coming here and unveiling the 2026 national budget. Let's listen and let's take a look at this.